Hey, what's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Always excited to hop on these charts and prepare for the week. Had a really good week last week. One of the goals that I set out for myself was I wanted to hit at least 10R. And so that was actually one of my goals that I actually hit. So that was actually pretty exciting when you always set forth goals and you hit those goals. So like I said, I was pretty excited about that. Also, let me know if you guys have any goals and stuff weekly that you guys have that you be setting forth and things like that. One of my prayers every week for the group is that anybody who trades, they would be more profitable than were the last week. And so I've accomplished that the last 3 weeks, which is a really good thing. And so Ish, what's going on, my man? And so that's always one of my goals for everybody, is to be more profitable than they were the last week. But let's go ahead and get our word of prayer in, and then we're gonna hop into these charts, man. And if y'all have any additional pairs that y'all want to see, I know we have GJ definitely is a pair that's requested for us to mark up, so we're gonna definitely do that one. All right, so dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for life, health, and strength, Lord. I want to thank any and everybody who's under the sound of my voice, and anybody who's involved or has came across the path of the Pips Academy. I pray that it continues to add value. I pray that I remain humble and that I can help any and everybody who comes in contact with it. I pray that this particular resource, Forex, can allow somebody to become financially free and help their family, Lord. And as always, I pray that anyone who's trading is more profitable than they were last week, that they're more profitable this week. Lord, I ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, man, let's get into it, man. Like I said, I'm always excited to get into the charts, and I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. If you have any pairs you'd like to see marked up, please add them to the chat. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. So starting off this week, so on Monday, looked like we got monetary policy on AUD. So anybody that's trading AUD, just make sure you look for that tomorrow during the Asian session. And so it might be a little bit of a movement on gold as well, because like we always say, Australia is a heavily importer of gold, so just be mindful of that. On Tuesday, we got CPI news for the Canadian dollar, so it'll definitely be a lot of movement on CAD. So we'll take a peek at USD CAD. I traded it once last week, and I haven't traded USD. I think that was the first time I traded USD CAD in 2024 and caught a really good move on it. So there'll be some move on USD CAD, so we can check that out as well. Also, we can see we got wage price index on AUD Tuesday during our Asian session as well. So going into Wednesday, we got FOMC mid for Wednesday. Okay, and anybody that knows, whenever we got FOMC in the middle of the day, you know, kind of right after lunch, we usually have a lot of volatility around that time. So just be mindful if you are in trades, or if you plan on getting in trades, just be careful whenever you're trading around that time. Me, I kind of tend to sit back and kind of watch the fireworks, depending on structure. Going in, man, Wednesday, it's like that's the only news we really have as far as red folders. You know what? I want to see something though. Let me go to my filter. I don't want to add these other folders on because I'm just curious, man. I want to see what else is on Wednesday. Okay, it's just not too much. So I'll take my filter back off. Most of the time, I like to see red folders and orange folders. Those are the big significance really to me. Okay, so going into Thursday for our London session, we got Euro. So Euro, for those who trade during the London session, if you mess with Euro gonna be gonna have a lot of volatility on Thursday during the London session, and even the British pound as well. So I know we got some people that trade GU, GJ, things like that. So Thursday you're gonna have a lot of movement if you trade the London session. Going into Thursday, we got some Canadian news as well, and we got USD unemployment claims and flash manufacturing. Okay, we also got some existing home sales for the USD and New Zealand later on that day. Around this time, you guys, in the middle of the day, I do not mess with any no NZD pairs, because when you get that switch over, you know, 4 o'clock Central or 5 o'clock Eastern time, that gap on the spread for NZD is vicious. It'll tear you up. I've experienced that all too many times. So I'm very cautious whenever I trade NZD pairs. And then Friday, it looked like we don't even really have that much going on Friday. It's the first time in a long time I see Friday not really to have nothing during New York. And so it looked like we got Euro on London session. So Friday might be a really easy trade day, but we'll see. We just, like I said, it depends on market structure and what the market is giving us. All right, so that's pretty much the news that we have. And let's go ahead and jump into it. So we're gonna start off with EU like we always do. And like I said, if you have any pairs, put them in the chat. We already have GJ that's on the list, so we'll definitely hit that one up. So one of the things that I decided to do for this particular pair and a couple pairs is I wanted to look at the weekly, because I looked at the weekly, I think a couple weeks back, the last time we did our analysis, and the weekly was showing some really good structure that gave us some really good breadcrumbs as to where the market is going on EU. And we could see that on this particular pair. Hold on, I'm gonna change the color on this and make it a little thicker. I'm gonna change the color to like an orange. That way everybody can see it. All right, so on this particular pair, we could see we were bullish initially. Price came up, it came down, and then this here was not necessarily the structural or the continuation in structure, because if you look at this point here, and you see our crosshairs is just wicks. So we got here, and then price end up breaking structure on the weekly in this area here. And if we zoom in a little closer, you can actually see the structural break down in this area. If you see that we have 2 candle body closures below the weekly, okay? And then we got this huge weekly supply. We see price came up here, gave a nice rejection to this area, even tapping into this weekly imbalance, and then price decided to dip off. Okay, and the ultimate target that we're looking for is right around this area here, right around 1.045, we could say 00, which is actually a bank level or something like that. 500. So this is this is our ultimate goal of what we're looking for EU. Okay, so let's go to our daily and see exactly what's going on. All right, so on the daily time frame, we can see we're starting to get some of those breadcrumbs that we were talking about. We had that breaker structure on weekly, it tapped into a weekly supply, and we just had a break of structure on the daily as well. And so one of the things I want to see is for price to come back and possibly tap into either this supply zone here, which is done. I'm gonna actually move it up to the body here. This supply zone here, or it can literally come all the way back up to the top in this area here. Because I say that because since we got this break of structure, right now, if we utilize our fibs on EU, this is our golden zone on the daily that we're looking for price to possibly tap back into. Okay, this is our daily fib. All right, this is our premium zone here. So price can possibly break past this daily here and come into this area here. I'm gonna move this back a little bit just so it looked a little bit more uniform. I'm gonna keep it about right there. I'll move this over. I don't know, I'm kind of compulsive like that. I like my stuff to look real uniform when I'm doing stuff. But yeah, we can tap off of this and get a reaction, or come up to here. I would rather much see it come up a little bit higher, just so it can be in that daily premium zone, and then we kind of dip off to the downside. Okay, if we go over to our our H4, let's go over to our 4-hour time frame and kind of see what we're looking at. So right now on the 4-hour, we're bearish. Okay, we're bearish on the 4-hour. We can see lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we're already in the golden zone of our 4-hour time frame. So if we utilize our fibs, we can see we literally just tapped off of the 78.6 in this area right here. Okay, price gave a huge bullish engulfing, and we might get a reaction up in this area here, depending on what our 15-minute is looking like. And speaking of that, let's drop down to the 15-minute time frame, because I'm thinking, because we're on that pullback stage, I'm thinking on the 4-hour we might get a break of structure this week on that. And so one of the things that we can see on the 15, we're bullish. Okay, we can see price has come up, come down, come up in this area right here. So we're bullish on the 15-minute. However, right now this particular pair is literally hands off for me right now. I won't touch EU because we're in the golden zone, and because EU is bearish on the 4-hour and we're in the golden zone, I wouldn't look for any buys unless we got a break of structure on the 15-minute. So right now, like I said, it's hands off for me. So I'll put an alert on this area here and say EU 4-hour BOS. Okay, and that'll let me know that, okay, we're starting to transition for that retest on the daily. Okay, but let me make sure that this actually gets into our Discord. That way everybody can get in on these alerts. Okay, I know I got some old alerts right there. There we go. Let me copy this stuff right here, add it in here. Because this little syntax, it allows us to send these notifications. I gotta have this stuff in here or whatever. Okay, so if EU breaks this area here, then we'll know, and we can say, all right, let's look for a nice little pullback. That way we can ride price up. But right now, I'm kind of bearish on EU just because the 4-hour is bearish. That's our higher time frame that we look for our bias when we're trading. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have on EU. We'll kind of be patient and see exactly what it does. Now, if it comes down here, give me a break of structure on the 15, hey, I'm gonna probably, look for sales after that point. But right now, EU is pretty much hands off. All right, so let's move it on. All right, let's go over to GU, you guys, and we'll start off on the weekly on this particular pair as well. And we'll kind of do our breakdowns and all of that kind of thing. Because EU is kind of giving some of those same vibes that GU is giving those same vibes that EU is giving us. And as you guys can see, we got a weekly break of structure. Price came back, tapped into this weekly supply. And then if you notice, we're getting like this rounded situation here, where price is showing some signs of transitioning to the downside. Okay, and if we go over to the daily time frame and just take a look, right now we're still bullish on GU, okay? Because price came up, gave us a higher high, higher low. This here is just one candle with everything consolidating in it. So this is not a pullback in this area here. But we got price up to this area here, and this is our protected low in this area here. And we can see on GU we had a lot of consolidation in this area. Okay, we're still bullish until we break this downward area here. And I'll just move this over and I'll just say GU daily BOS. Okay, and we'll put that in the chat for everybody as well. That way we understand if we get that break. All right, so now let's go ahead and drop it down to the 4 hour and see what we got going on. All right. So on our 4 hour time frame, we could see that price is bearish right now. Okay. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Price already kind of retraced in its golden zone, and price is kind of dipping off a little bit. But let's take a look at it and see exactly what's going on the 15 minute. Okay. All right, so we said that, you know, we had price to dip into our golden zone in this area. But one of the things that we can notice on this pair, you guys, is we have this huge imbalance right in this area here, and a supply zone up here that hasn't been mitigated yet. Let me take this off. This 4 hour up in this area. And we can see, and so this makes me a little cautious to actually get involved with GU, because we're bearish on the 4 hour. Okay, we're bearish on the 4 hour. We dipped into the golden zone on a 4 hour, but the 15 is bullish. And so, like I said, we've already dipped into the 4 hour. So for me, I don't really want to touch it. Hold on for a minute. Let me see something. Oh, okay. I see what the deal is. So I think I have something that's a little bit wrong on here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me look at these candles here. Yeah. Okay, I can see something, you guys. So check this out. We have an area here, and this is good that we mark stuff up, kind of go over our markups to make sure that we're good. This is a 15-minute break of structure here. Okay, higher high, price came down, broke, did some things, end up impulsing, giving us a high here, which kind of broke that area. Then it broke structure again. Okay, so with that break of structure, okay, price was still going down. So now here's the correction. Okay, so we have to change this. This is the line up here. Okay, this is what we're looking at, and this is our 15-minute week low down here. Because here's what happened. I want to show you guys. Price came up, came down, came up, gave a break of structure down in this area here. I know it showed a little pullback there, but think about this. When you look at this, if we utilize our fibs on this, like if I would have put my fib right in this area, price didn't really give us a retracement or anything into our area. However, if we look at this now, price retraced 50% or greater. So now, you know what I'm saying? This break of structure here is just showing it wants to go a little bit further within our premium zone before it continues to the downside. So we are bearish on the 15-minute as well. Even though we got this break of structure here, this is just a break of structure letting us know that we're coming up to this area. And I hope that makes sense. Hey, can you guys see me? I see that it's showing some issues on the stream. Let me see. Hold on for a second, you guys. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right. So, like I was saying, we're in the retesting phase right now. So, I'm gonna actually take this off because that can be a bit confusing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off because that's a bit confusing. So right now we're in the retesting phase right now. So I'm gonna take this, move this down here. This is our golden zone. So right now, because we're up in that area, now this is where, you know, because I know there's some people that still kind of struggle on their entries. And so one of the things I do, and it's kind of like I'm stalking the pair a little bit, but not really having to be on the charts like that, is I'll go to the 1 minute a lot of times. And when I'm on that 1 minute, you guys, I usually set alerts for the highs and the lows of that 1 minute. And so right now, one of the things I can see is that we had price to give us a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we came up in this area here. Okay, and let's see if this was a, yep. So as we can see on the 1 minute, we had a break of structure right here. We had a break of structure in this area, 1 minute, okay? And so a lot of times when price is up in that golden zone for me, and because it's on a Sunday, I probably wouldn't stalk it like this, but I'm just giving an example. Usually when I get that break of structure on the 1 minute and I'm gearing myself up for entries and things like that, what I'll do is I'll say, all right, I know that this is my golden zone right here, and I'll use a different type of model situation. My computer running slow. I'll use this right here, and I'll say, okay, this is my fibs. It's still the same thing. It's just I just made it look a little different. And I'll put, you know, my 1 minute structure up in this area, and I'll also add an alert down in this area as well to say, all right, this here is a COS, which is continuation in structure. But this here, if price breaks this, then I know this is a 1 minute break of structure. Because right now, I'm gearing up and I'm in entry mode, okay? And so for me, this is my golden zone up in this area here. You know what? I'm gonna change this so it doesn't confuse people. Let me just go ahead and put the red one on. Okay, so this is my golden zone here. But what I'll do, because this looks choppy, I'll go to the 5 minute first. And I'll say, okay, if I'm looking at the 5 minute, what looks significant for price to possibly tap off of, you know, when it's in that golden zone, when it's retracing? And for me, there's nothing that really looked too significant for me on the 5 minute, except all the way up here. So of course I'll mark that, but I'll go to the 15 minute next. Let me mark this as my 5 minute supply. But I'll go to the 15 minute and I'll say, okay, now this area here looks a little bit more significant. This 15 minute area. Okay? And then what I'll start doing, I'll start measuring my risk to reward. Because for me, I'm always looking for a 1 to 3 first. So I'll say, okay, if I came up here, entry was somewhere right here, and I rolled price down to this area here. That's a perfect 1 to 3 for me. Okay? That's a perfect 1 to 3. And I'm not saying this is a trade that I'm about to take exactly right now, because I don't like taking trades as soon as the market open on Sundays and all that kind of thing, because liquidity on those daily candles on Sundays and Mondays is a little weird. So I don't like to trade on those days like that. But let's just say this was Tuesday or midweek. I'll do this, you know, I'll kind of go through the time frames to find a good point of interest for me, and then, you know, I'll look at it like that. And so I'll take a little line down to my first TP1, which is my 3%, and then I'll say, all right, my ultimate target is that 15 minute low. Okay, I'm trying to target this. So as you guys can see, there's like a 1 to 11.99 risk to reward. But usually what I do, and I'm sorry, I didn't do it yet. Hold on. And I actually changed this in my my trading plan. So I don't just do a 1 to 3. I do a 1 to 3.1, and I tell you why. a 1 to 3.1. The reason why I do this is because when my first TP is hit, I usually take 90% off the table. Okay, I'll take 90% off the table. So if I go to a 3.1, that means I get my full 3%. And then I keep 10% on the table. I'm on my stops to break even. And then my next TP is going all the way down to that swing low. It's going all the way down to that swing low. Me, I like to go for that 1 to 3. Now, let's just say if I was in the charts and price just skyrocketed past my 1 to 3.1 and all of that. Okay, I'll let it run a bit. But for me, I always shoot for a 1 to 3.1 risk to reward because for me, in my trading plan, I like to take off I like to take off 90% of my trade. Okay, if I was taking off 80%, then I'll shoot for a 3.2. So I can always secure that 3%. I hope that makes sense. All right, but I just wanted to kind of go through that to kind of let you guys know whenever I'm gearing in for entries, I'll kind of stalk the pair like that. Like that way I don't have to stay on the charts all day. I'll set an alert for my highs, my lows, and if I got my fib on there, I'll set an alert for that 50%. And so if price breaks those areas, I'll keep moving those lines. That way I don't have to be on the charts, but it'll alert me and I don't miss my entries and things like that. All right, so let's get back to it. So right now, we're in that golden zone. Price did give us that breaker structure, but like I said, I want to be a little bit patient because we got all of this action over here. And so I want to see price kind of come up a little bit higher. All right, so that's pretty much what I got for GU, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and look at gold first. Let's look at gold. We'll look at gold, USD CAD, and then we'll look at GJ. And if you guys have any more pairs that you want to see, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, let's look at the golden girl right quick, you guys. So, as you guys can see, we're bullish on gold on the daily. And you can see that we had a reaction in this this daily demand right here, okay, on gold. And this long candle right here was a reaction of CPI last week. Okay, we had CPI news on Tuesday. Price skyrocketed down, gave a reaction in its demand, and now price is kind of coming up a little bit. All right, so if we go to our H4 and look what's going on, we have some really good opportunities on gold this week, you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. And so if we look at this from a 4-hour perspective, I'm gonna remove the daily for a minute because we don't really need to look at that. We can see that we're bearish on gold. Okay, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, price came down to this area here, planted a lower low. If we go to our 15-minute structure, we can see what went on. And I actually caught a trade in this area last week, a really good textbook trade in this area. And I can actually show you guys if I go to my phases or my results. Yeah, it was right here. I caught this trade right here last week. Yeah, that was a really easy one right there. It was during the Asian session. I don't usually trade that session, but it gave really good market structure. But we can see price, when it came down, created that lower low, price gave us a break of structure. Then price started to give us bullish momentum on the 15-minute. Okay, and we can see right now the structure for the 15-minute: higher high, higher low, higher high. So for me, I'm looking for price to come back somewhere within this golden zone on the 15-minute, and we can see a couple of confluences that we have. A point of interest that we have. So we have this 15-minute demand, and we got this huge imbalance that price has not mitigated yet. All right. But most importantly on this particular pair is if we go to our 4-hour, which is why I said we got some good opportunity on this pair, the golden zone is way up here. So right now we're in counter swing phase where price is coming down and we're retracing right now. So we still got some ways to go before price gets up here. We still got to break through this supply here and then possibly come all the way up here, because if you look over here, I know it's small, but we got a lot of unhealthy price action and this huge imbalance over here. We got all this action over here. And when I kind of dial down, there's a huge imbalance zone right here. So price still has a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I want to see price give us a retracement into this area. We drop to a smaller time frame to see the transition, and then we can ride price up. So like I said, for gold will be one of my bread and butters this week, because we have a lot of opportunity and price is literally where we want it to be. EU, GU, those are the pairs that I'm going to probably wait on a little bit and kind of wait for market structure to be a little bit more clear. Gold right now is probably my number one right now, okay, because of how the market is setting up for gold. All right, so now let's go over to USD CAD and then we're going to check out GJ. All right, so let's look at USD CAD, you guys. I'm going to start off on the weekly for this pair as well, because we know we got a lot of CAD news. Now, you know what? I'm gonna start off on the daily. Let's go to the daily on this pair. We know we got a lot of CAD news going on. So if we look at the daily on USD CAD, we can see that it is bearish on the daily, okay? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came all the way back into this daily supply zone up in here, gave us a nice reaction, okay? Why my computer running so slow, man? One of the things that you can see though on this particular pair, the 4 hour and the daily is aligned perfectly. Like, look how huge this 4 hour trading range is. Like, it's massively huge. Price came all the way up in this area, okay? And so we tapped into this daily supply and we can see price just pretty much just gave us a nice retracement on this. So let's go over to the 15-minute and see what's going on here. So on the 15-minute time frame, one of the things we can see, price came down, gave us a break of structure, and then price decided to give us a retracement, okay? Right now, price is still bearish, you know, going down in this area. Well, I'm sorry, price is retracing right now. And so we want to see price start to give us that transition to go higher, okay? This is what we're looking at. Here and here, okay? So that's what we're looking at right now. And so price is retracing, tapped into this area. We already started to get a transition, I believe, on a smaller time frame. Let's go to a 1 minute. Yeah, all the way over here. It's ugly, but it happened. It happened. And I'm gonna show you the ugly part, which is all the way down here. I don't think that's it. I think it's this part here. Price came down, up, down. We got a break of structure here, but the retest, you know, probably was down in this area somewhere, and it's already kind of playing in this area. It's ugly. It's ugly. And so I'll probably wait for USD CAD to see exactly. Oh, it's frozen. Somewhere, and it's already kind of playing in this area. It's ugly. It's ugly. And so, hey, can y'all see me? Is it still frozen? Let me know if it's still frozen on y'all side. I'm gonna close a lot of this stuff that's just in the background that's open. Okay, you said it's choppy. All right, let me see if I can fix it. What about now? Is it still choppy now? Let's see what's going on. Okay, it looked like it's moving now. How is it now, y'all? Is it still good or is it still choppy? Is it choppy on y'all end? Okay, cool. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. Let's go to GJ. Let's go ahead and go to GJ, y'all. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and look at GJ. Let me take this thing off. All right, y'all. So let's look at GJ. Sorry about that, y'all. Computer running slow. Probably need to reboot this thing. So let's kind of remove some of this structure first. And let's kind of look at this from a daily perspective. All right. I'm gonna move the 4 hour and I'm gonna put the daily on there just so we can take a peek at it. All right. So one of the things that we can see with this particular pair is we had, if we look at the price action from last week, we had a breaker structure on the daily. Price, did some things down here, and then price decided to just break up the other way. Okay, so we can actually, kind of do away with that thing right there. All right, remove all of this down here because this is not even significant right now because it looked like we're in a bullish momentum. Okay, so let's put our 4 hour structure on right quick. On the 4 hour last week, we could see that we were in this range here and then price decided to break out. All right, so now we can start to move our structure here. Don't even really need this anymore. So now we can start to adjust our 4 hour structure in this area here. So here's our trading range. This is what we're working with right now. Okay. All right, so now let's break this thing down from a 15-minute perspective. All right, we're gonna throw our 15-minute structure back on there just to look exactly what price was and where did it go. Let me move this over. All right, so looking back at our 15-minute and kind of seeing what happened, we can see in this area here. All right, and we're gonna just break it down step by step. We had a higher high, higher low. This doesn't count because this one candle kind of engulfed everything. Let me make this bigger. What I'll do, you guys, let's go ahead and do this. That way the screen is a little bit bigger. We'll remove all the other stuff right now. All right, so let's check it out. So on the 15-minute, we can see we got higher high, higher low, higher high. Price played around in this area, gave us a breaker structure. Okay. Now let's see. Down in these areas here, we can see we didn't necessarily have anything that we were looking for in this area because, we got one body closure above this area, but this one closed down in this area here. Okay. So not really gonna count that. So I don't really see any structure down in this area that will give me that swing that I was looking for it to go further. And so it looked like price literally just gave us a topsy-turvy, and that thing came right through and gave us another break of structure here. Went straight to the upside for GJ. All right, then from there, now we're starting to see structure. Okay, so now we can start marking this up. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Nope, right here, higher low. Yep. Okay. The price came all the way up in this area, higher high, higher low. That's a liquidity grab right there. And then we moved all the way up here, higher high, in that area right there. Okay. All right, price came down, gave us a break of structure here. This is 15-minute break of structure. And let's see what is going on here. Okay, price is well within our golden zone right now. And so we can see that this could clearly be our point of interest here, but let's check it out. So I want to start with the 4 hour just to take a look at that. And so here's why. Let me go back to the 15 and I can show you guys why I did that. So if we look at this, we can see, oh crap, take this off, click that. So now we can see that we got this 15-minute supply up in this area here. But a lot of times when you have these supplies and you have a lot of price action over here with this imbalance, this here, where this price action is where the imbalance or another supply resides. Okay, so price might not always come all the way up to this area. It might just stop at this area and then decide to go in the other direction. So if I go to the 4 hour and we go back and look at that area, look what that supply zone is. The supply zone is right here and giving us a perfect continuation, bearish, bullish, bearish order block right in this area here. Okay, so that's our point of interest that we want to look for price to come up to. Pull this over, price almost wicked into that area. Okay, one of the tools that we can use, and I'll show you guys this, and I'm gonna do a video on this as well, is we can use the fixed volume profiler. Okay, and I'll show you how this works. So let's just say we got this huge imbalance, but we're trying to figure out exactly where's the actual imbalance at. Okay, what we can do, we can utilize what is called the fixed range volume profile. Okay, and we can measure it from this high all the way down to this low. Okay, and when we do that, we can zoom in on this thing, and you guys will notice that you're starting to see some numbers. You know what, let me do this a different way. I'm gonna delete this and I'm gonna see if I can do it on the side of it, that way you guys can see it. All right, let's see if I can do that on the side. So I'll take that fixed volume profiler from here down to here. All right, now here we go. All right, so we can see it. So when you zoom in on this, you'll notice that you have these numbers over here where you're looking at this imbalance. And you notice over here, you have a lot of numbers. It's like 0 through 23, and then you also got this 0 to 109. So the zeros, everything on the left indicates the buyers. Everything on the right indicates the sellers. And as you guys can see, in this area, we literally had no buyers in this particular area. So in order to kind of balance this out, price more than likely will have to come up to this area right here. And you can see right in this area, we had 17 buyers and we had about 41 sellers. okay? Until price decided to really dip off into this area, and then it kind of balanced out down here. So in this area, this is the true imbalance right here, okay? This is the true imbalance right here. Okay, price already tapped into some of it, but we want to see price literally come up to this area, which is where which kind of coincides with that 4 hour supply that we were just looking at. Okay, but look at this. Look what price came at. Price almost came up to that area already. So it's fulfilled a lot of this already. Okay, now we understand and do know that price sometimes won't fill the entire situation, but this is our true imbalance right here. And you can see that price has already started to come up to that area. Now what we can do, since we know that price is already retraced kind of far within this range, this is what we can start dropping down to our 5 minute and 1 minute to kind of see exactly what's going on. Okay, so let's see something in this area here. Okay, so because we have relative equal highs in this area right here, I look at this as liquidity. Okay, we got relative equal highs in this area. And so what that means is, if we look at our 1 minute range, it's actually here. This is our breaker structure for the 1 minute. It's all the way down here. And I say that because if you look at, just look at the range of it. This was the last high right here. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay? So before we even want to get involved with this, I want to see price come up and possibly take out this liquidity. Or if it breaks this area, then we'll get that retracement to start looking to take price back downward. Okay? And I hope that makes sense. So right now, these are our areas for our 1 minute in this area right here. So now, let me take that off. So now, since we understand that, now we can start to do that method that we were talking about before. Let's go to the 5 minute to see what we have that's relevant. Okay. Oh, no, you know what? I take that back. We can't do that yet because we don't have a breaker structure. This is where the stalking comes in. So right here, we can set an alert and say, this is a 1 minute breaker structure. This is liquidity, but we can also say this is continuation in structure. So what I would do, so you don't have to be on the charts all day, I'll set an alert here and I'll set an alert here. That way, if price decides to continue, it comes up here, it breaks through this. All right, cool. It broke through, price is starting to continue up. I can just say, all right, I'll move my breaker structure up here. And then I'll wait for price to just pull back a little bit. I'll move this alert up here and I'll go about my day and say, all right, I'll let it do what it do. And then if it breaks structure and come down here, if it breaks structure, now I can go back and say, all right, now let's go through those different time frames to set up our entry model, and look for some supply zone up here, set our entry, and then we'll be good to go. But right now, since we understand this is our trading range on the 1 minute, because we've already entered into our golden zone on the 15 minute, and we're looking for sales right now. The reason why we're looking for sales, because if we go back to our 4 hour, we've already broken this 4 hour range right here. Okay, we've already broken this. Hold on, you guys. Let me take a lot of this other stuff off. It's just way too much. Take off the 4 hour. This, I'm gonna move this to the 4 hour. Right here. So I'm gonna take off all this 15 minute stuff back here. We just don't need it. Yeah, I'm gonna take off all of that, you guys. And we'll just put that in old structure. just so we can get it out of there. Just concentrate on the current structure. All right, so this is our 4 hour right now. We've already had this move here, and we're starting to pull back, okay? So what we want to see is for price to possibly pull back into this area here. This is what we want to see. All right, this is where we want to see price pull at. All right, and so we're starting to get that transition. Well, we don't have it yet until we break on that 1 minute. Once we break on that 1 minute, then we'll be good to go. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So right now, if we're looking at our 15 minute though, our 15 minute protected high is here. And our low is here. All right, so this is our 15-minute range. All right, so we've already retraced into that area, okay, because we had that break of structure. Price gave us that retest. So we're up in this area right now. So if price can come up a little bit, give us that transition, you know, this is our ultimate target down in this area. This is liquidity down here as well. So if we see price come up here and give us that move that we're looking for, let's just say it comes up, break through this, give us that break of structure retest, we're riding it all the way down. Okay, that's our target right there. And so this possibly can be, you know, just depending on what the market structure gives us, you know, it's gonna be a really good trade, you know. And that's our entry model. That's how we'll be looking at it. All right, and we just got to make sure we're using proper risk management, because all of them is not going to be perfect. We got to be mindful that we got a lot of British pound news this week as well. So it's going to be some liquidity. It's going to be some liquidity being had. I mean, if you look at all of this here, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of liquidity here built up. Well, it kind of took it out with this one here. Okay, this here took out all this liquidity. All right, but we have liquidity here as well. We got liquidity here, and we got liquidity down here that needs to be taken out. Okay, so we just got to be mindful of that. All right, and then another thing we can do, we can start looking at the session ranges. So if we're looking at the sessions, we can already see that Asian and London session liquidity was already taken. Okay, so like I said before I even changed this to a continuation, I said this was liquidity because we had relative equal highs up in this area on the 1 minute. So, and what is that area? That's the high. That's the session high for the New York. So price, you know, when it opens, possibly take out that New York session, take out that session high, give us that transition, come down, take out those session lows, because we can see that a London session was already taken. Asian have not. You know, that's another confluence that we can see. The Asian session, the liquidity for this one haven't been taken yet, or the New York session. Asian session lows right here. We got New York session highs. So that liquidity, those session highs and lows have to be taken. So, you know, those are just some confluences that we can look for when we're looking at GJ or any pair. Look at those session highs and lows and things like that. We just talked about this in the liquidity video that I dropped last week. So, and those things recycle over and over and over again. But GJ, like I said, this is not a pair that I usually trade, but it's literally setting up for a really good setup, I think, on this particular pair. We just got to be mindful of where the market is and all of that stuff, and the news. I'm gonna go ahead and put imbalance on this area right here, just because that's where that true imbalance is for that supply zone. I'll move this out the way. But you guys, hey man, I hope this helped. This is what I see on GJ, and that's pretty much what I got for y'all today, man. Man, I hope y'all got some value out this mug today. I'm gonna be in the charts all day this week. I'm not all day this week. I'm tripping. I'm gonna be in the charts a lot this week and on the chat. So, like I said, for me, gold is probably gonna be my number one that I'll be looking at until EU or GU kind of make a transitional move or something like that. I won't really look at those. But like I said, gold and possibly USD CAD would be my two bread and butters for this week. All right. Hey y'all, man, I appreciate y'all for joining. Let's have a good week, a good trading week. Let's make sure we keep our patience on all of this stuff, and follow your trading plans, man. Let's try not to get hit with that FOMO bug. Let's try not to get hit with that joint. Let's make sure we patient and wait for our confirmations. All right. Hey y'all, I see y'all in the charts, man. I'm out.